Good morning, everybody. We're going to give people here a few more minutes to be able to jump on today's call. And we'll get started here in about 30 seconds. All right. Good morning, everybody. For those of you joining, my name is Luis. I am working with the customer success team over at Map My Customers, and I really appreciate everyone that's been able to join today. Anybody that might watch this in the future, and really hope given everything that's going on, everybody's staying safe at home, and continuing to work through things. So for today's webinar, we're gonna go into deals in Map My Customers. Deals is a great way to actually track and monitor your various stages of the sales cycle, various deals you're working with, and from a management level, it kind of gives you a pulse of which direction your business is headed. So that's what we want to dedicate a good focus of our webinar series around just deals and managing deals in Map My Customers. This is going to be more tailored for sales managers and leaders because we'll be focused on the website version of the application. But don't get me wrong, there are still a lot of core functionalities that we're going to go over today that's also very much relevant to all of the sales reps that are doing a lot of prospecting within Map My Customers. So we're going to take it from beginning to end. We're going to go over some of the basics of setting up your deals, your sales funnels to monitor all of your sales opportunities, as well as then what do you actually do with this data once you have it all in Map My Customers? How can you make it actionable and use it in a strategic way? We'll answer those questions as we're going along with this. Please feel free to shoot questions over to me as we're going through this webinar. We will have a time at the very end to go over some standard questions and answers as needed. But if you do have any specific questions that you want to ask while we're going through things, we'll be able to address them as they come up. And for those of you wondering, this is going to be recorded, so we will send over the recording as soon as the webinar is completed. I am now starting to share my screen. All right, so now you should all see my screen. At the very top in the center, you see the dashboard and it says, hello, MMC demo. So this is what you see when you log into Map My Customers. Before we actually go directly into this deals specific part of the application, we're actually going to prepare a little bit for it. So what does that mean? We're actually going to go into our settings, this gear icon right here, and we're going to set up custom fields for our deals. So why do we want to set up custom fields? And I'm going to scroll down here just because the custom field section is at the very end. We want to set up custom fields for deals because it provides additional context for you as a sales rep to be able to be better prepared with more information that makes you more knowledgeable when you're speaking to prospects and potential clients. And from a sales management side, custom fields allows you to get more data about the different prospects that you're working with, which may lead you to make different decisions in the future. So we're going to go into a few of the examples. We have all the custom fields available here for companies. We're going to click into deals. And here you'll see the different custom fields I already have available. I have one called agenda, objections, anticipated objections, a standard field just called new field, and competitors. So these are 5 custom fields that we've built into the account for today's demonstration. The purpose of these fields, like I mentioned, is just to gather more information about each sales opportunity, each deal as you're going along. And this information is both useful for the individual deal as a sales rep to know more about the deal, but from a management standpoint, being able to easily understand, hey, which competitors are we coming head to head with most often? Are they local competitors? Are they, nationwide competitors? What are the most common objections that we're hearing from the field? Why are people deciding to not buy? These types of questions can be addressed within custom fields in Map My Customers, and then we can generate reports to really support and understand this a little bit better. So this is why custom fields are important. And to make it easier to actually allow your reps to input data into Map My Customers about these custom fields, when we click on Add New Field, you'll see that we already have various types of fields available. The most commonly used ones are text, multiple option, and single option. Text is really straightforward. That's probably what you see all the time whenever you're typing anything in. Multiple option and single option are both also fantastic because it allows you to select from a predetermined list that you can continue to just, tap and go, tap and go. So rather than having to type things into a text box and then forgetting to capitalize things, misspelling, or just flat out not doing it, you can fill out these multiple options beforehand as the administrator in Map My Customers, and then your reps will have access to these. One other thing I do want to point out, Map My Customers does have the ability to implement required fields. So if your sales rep is going to create a new deal, but you want them to actually gather specific information about the prospect. Maybe this is a way to disqualify deals from becoming actual deals so that the sales rep has to fill this out. They have to know this information, or this is a way to really encourage sales reps to figure out this information about the prospect and the deal. You can require certain fields. So let's say that I want to actually require the field called anticipated objections. And as you can see from here, this custom field is a dropdown that has multiple options. So this really is telling me, as a sales rep, I'm preparing for this deal, I'm thinking through it. What are the objections I'm anticipating as I'm going in and having more conversations? So if you want your reps to make sure they prepare every single time before they go into a deal, before they go into a prospect, so that they're not just going in there without any sort of plan, you can make this field required by clicking on the checkbox to make it required on the right-hand side. When you do that, the blue check mark will appear, and you can click on the left-hand side to finalize your change and implement safe changes. So now you have a required field for this. All right, so that's the breakdown of deals and why it's really helpful and beneficial from a sales management standpoint and from a sales rep standpoint to have these deals in Map My Customers. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to go directly into the actual deals section. We're going to go to records and then funnels/deals. And this immediately takes you to the sales funnel. And there's a lot going on here. Let's take a step back. We're going to go back to the foundation. We just set up our custom fields for deals. Let's continue to finish the setup for our actual sales funnel. To do this, we're going to go into funnel settings on the right hand side here. We're going to click on that. And now you have some more information, not as overwhelming and not as much as the prior page, but there's still a good amount going on here. You're immediately brought to the section in which you can modify, change, add new deal stages to a specific sales funnel. As you can see here at the top, it says deal stages. This is highlighted, and it says deal funnel right here. Before we get to that, we're actually going to take it a step back even more and click on funnels. In Map My Customers, you can have multiple sales funnels to reflect the type of information that you want to gather and really segment out this information for your sales team. So you can think of this as one way to segment out different types of deals that you're working with. One important thing to note, in Map My Customers, I'm going to take a step back here. In Map My Customers, if you have multiple teams, and I'll show you what this means right here. I'm going to go to the team section, manage users. Here we have the Map My Customers team. We have the West Coast team and the Justice League team. If you have multiple teams that need to use the deals funnel in Map My Customers, you're going to need to have at least one sales funnel, one deals funnel for each team. The way that the deals and deals funnels work is that it can only be assigned to one team. So for example, going back to the deal settings, we have 3 funnels here, but they're not all assigned to all of the teams. So for example, if we look at the 2019 deals funnel, we click on this pencil icon to edit it, you can see that it's owned by the Map My Customers team. I can't select Map My Customers and something else. It's either or. And it's really important to know this because you also need to assign a funnel to a specific team before you start creating or adding any deals into that funnel. If you go through the process of, hey, I'm gonna add deals to my funnel, and then I want to assign it to a specific team, you're gonna run into a roadblock because the specific process that has to be followed for this is going to be, hey, I'm going to set up my sales funnel. I'm going to assign the funnel to a specific team in Map My Customers, and then I'm going to add my deals into that funnel. So that means you need to have both your team set up in Map My Customers before working with deals, as well as knowing who you want to assign your sales funnel to. So where this becomes relevant, if you're a sales organization that has multiple regional teams, for example, you can have an East Coast, West Coast, maybe you cover 3 or 4 states with your sales team. Each subset of a team based on the sales hierarchy should have its own sales funnel. And again, this applies a little bit more so to administrators than anybody else, but it's really important to make sure to follow these specific steps. So now we're going to go back into the deal stages. Say we've already set up the funnels that we want. We have the prospects funnel, the upsell funnel, and the 2019 deals funnel. We're going to go now into deal stages. So what you're going to see here, like I mentioned before, is a deals funnel option. This option actually allows you to choose which funnel you want to customize. I can choose between a prospect funnel, upsell funnel, or 2019 deals funnel. So one of the things that we started seeing more customers do more and more of is as they're working, they stay with Map My Customers longer and they continue to use Map My Customers. Every time a new year comes, they will make a brand new sales funnel and assign that sales funnel to a team and then change the old sales funnel to be 2019 deals, the prior year's deals, to really separate out what did we do in 2019 and what are we doing in 2020, etc. So now we're going to go back into our prospects funnel. And one thing to really keep in mind, the deals in Map My Customers, this entire deals feature is really, really, really powerful and beneficial if you're doing a lot of prospecting. So, and if you're trying to acquire brand new business, if you're a new sales rep, you're taking on a new territory, Deals Funnel can be extremely, extremely helpful for you. Where this is not as helpful is if you're a farmer type of sales rep. If you're working with the same repeat clients, they send orders into you, etc. That's where deals would not be as applicable. This is more so applicable for people that are prospecting, which is why we have this section called Prospects Funnel. Now, say that we have all of these deal stages, they look great. Now I want to add a stage. Well, let's say I want to add it here. Now it's going to take me through the process of actually creating an additional sales stage. Let's say that I want to call this, lead marketing list lead. Our marketing team buys a list, and this is a lead from it. So they're pretty unqualified. I'm going to set this out as, let's say gray, just because it's still fuzzy as to whether or not the quality of the lead is where it needs to be. And we'll say the probability of this lead to move to the next stage is 10%. So that's what this means. Prob is a ranking from 0 to 100. Think of it from a percentage standpoint. What is the percentage likelihood that this lead moves from the stage that it's in into the next one? So that this is now the marketing list lead, it's gray, and here it is a 10% likelihood. We're going to save this, and great. You'll see that a new lead has been created. So now we have lead, pitched, qualified, buying achieved, and negotiating, and then marketing list lead. But it doesn't actually make sense to go from negotiating to marketing list lead. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on this little hamburger icon and move this up. And now we have marketing list lead available here. And as you can see, we go from marketing list lead to then just lead. It might be beneficial for us to actually just clarify what's a lead. So we're going to edit this stage, or we're going to call it a qualified lead, just so that we know that it is more qualified. And based on that, I'm going to I'm going to increase the percentage. See what color would be good for this. Let's go with this one. Great. So now we have all of our deal stages set up. One thing that's worth noting, you don't see closed won or closed lost on this list. Closed won or closed lost is here on the right-hand side. If you see here, closed won and closed lost. These are default stages in Map My Customers, so you can't actually change these, and you don't actually get to see them on this funnel settings because you can't change them. I just want you to make sure, I want to make sure that everyone's aware of that. Closed won and closed lost are default stages in Map My Customers. They already exist when you're working with a sales funnel. So when you see it here, try not to think, oh, it's missing. No, it's there. You just can't actually see it here because you can't change it. If you ever need to hide specific stages from the sales funnel, let's say that right now you can see here marketing list lead is visible since it's gray. Say I want to hide it. I'm going to go back into funnel settings. I'm going to click on this eye icon. The deal stage has been updated. I'm going to close out. I'm going to then wait for the refresh. And just like that, we no longer see marketing list lead. We only see qualified lead. So this hiding option is actually very, very helpful if you want to focus and hone in on specific stages of the cycle in aggregate, right? So if you want to look at specific things just for qualified lead, or if you know the marketing list lead, it's just a way to keep track of things and it's not as useful, but you want to have it in there. You can hide it so that you don't need to think about it too much. You just focus on everything else. I'm going to open this up now. And the last option here is this trash icon. With this trash icon, you can go ahead and simply delete each deal stage. All right. So we've essentially prepared our entire Map My Customers account to be able to work with deals. I will pause to see if anybody has any questions real quickly. All right, it seems like we're good. Fantastic. So now that we've gone through the deal funnel settings, let's actually go through the process of making a deal. Want to make sure that you're all aware of what that looks like and the options available to you. And for some of you, my customer gurus, you already know that deals is an advanced feature, so you might know some of the basic setup. The next thing we're going to cover after making a deal is actually breaking down and understanding what's available to you in the funnel view and the map view, which I think will apply, and you can really understand the value of having deals in a lot more comprehensive way. So let's call this deal marketing list deal. We're going to assign it to a company. Let's assign it to Thomas Burke. Let's see, how much is this one? We want to make a lot of money, right? Let's say that this marketing list lead is worth 750,000. That's a huge deal. You might start to question, the validity of this opportunity of this deal because it's both so big and it's coming from the marketing list in the very first stage because it is a raw opportunity. But you can put here a score, right? So we just quickly went through like, hey, I can associate a deal amount, how much is this worth, which company this deal is associated to. So this company is required. You can add a person. So if you have a contact tied to the company, you can add it here. If you don't, you can just skip it. Then you have to decide which funnel does this belong to. It's going to be default to your first one that you made, which is a prospects funnel. In the stage section, you put in which stage of the sales cycle is it in. So if your sales reps are out in the field, this is available with a different interface on the mobile app. So this continues to be mobile driven. But if they are out in the field, they can actually put it into the appropriate deal stage. Score is like the rep's internal ranking as to the quality of the deal that this is. This is similar to the probability in that it's from a 0 to 100. So let's say that because this is a very optimistic sales rep, this is a huge deal opportunity. They want to put it at 40%, 40% from the very beginning. And closing date. When do we think we can actually close this? Let's say that we believe we can close it in the next 3 months, specifically on June 8th. A sizable deal like this to close in June 8th would be fantastic. So let's go ahead and do that. And now you go into the custom fields. So the ones that we have made for this account, keep in mind you can do whatever you want here. One is says agenda. What is your agenda for the meeting? Going to try to build a relationship with the decision makers. Need to nail down the customer specific pain points and how we tie into them. So that's one custom fields. What objections do they have? So this objections, the way that we put it, is actually can be blank. So the objections that you put here is going to be skipped because you actually haven't talked to them yet. So we're going to go into anticipated objections. What are the objections we imagine that will run into them? So this is a pretty big deal. So I don't think pricing is going to actually be an issue. They tend to have money. What could the issues be? Well, it's a pretty competitive market, so we might be coming in too late and we might have the wrong products. If we have these two issues, then we need to really reconsider the quality of this deal for us. And you can see based on the red asterisk that this is a required field. You can select the other options. Here's a drop down. This is a single select option, and then competitors. This is again a big opportunity. So we're going to assume that they're working with a nationwide competitor right now, or they have already told us they are. And then we have groups, and we'll go into groups in a second. But groups is a great way to segment and associate deals to specific, let's call it variables, right? So one of the variables that we want to look at when we click on manage groups that we've set up for this account is products. What products would they actually be interested in buying? And you can make groups whatever you want them to be. Think of this as any way you want to filter or associate data to. This could be a specific location. It could be really any category you want to have in groups. In this example, we made it products. So what products would they buy? Well, this is a big opportunity. They could literally buy all three. And we'll need to verify that they will buy all three. And then we'll save this deal. And just like that, we've created this specific deal. We can see that it is a marketing list deal. You can see all the information associated with it right here. On the right-hand side, it's automatically pulling the location information from the company. So one thing that's worth noting, you can't actually add a new address to a deal. The address that's going to be pulled into it is going to be the company that it's associated to. So this is in Virginia, and then these are the different fields of information that we submitted before. The groups, you can associate activities to a specific deal, activities being like a sales call. So if I want to add an activity, I want to say that I had a demonstration, had a great first demo. Next steps are a lock. I will complete this, and you see that it's all automatically associating the activity to the company and the deal here, which is great. And I'll save this. And then when I'm taken back to the deal, I can see that in my completed section, I have my demo right here that I performed with the notes associated to it. And then it's a separate notes section, information about the deal, as well as files. So files is actually something I strongly recommend that you as a sales rep or as a sales team begin leveraging. This could be a really easy way to submit proposals, just to be able to view and access pictures you can take on site. This is a really great way to transfer information from the in-person meetings and visits that you're doing into Map My Customers and have it all associated to the correct sales opportunity. All right. So now we're going to cancel this out with that we're done here. And we're going to cancel again. And now we're going to move over to the actual sales funnel list view, which is what you're seeing right here. So the first milestone we made was we fully completed our setup for this deals funnel. The second milestone was the fact that we created our first deal. Now, this third milestone we're getting into is going to be fully understanding all of the options available to you from the deals funnel standpoint. So as you can see here, going from the very top to the bottom, you have a deals section right here. It tells you how many deals are listed on this page. There is an option to click into the deals map view, which we'll go into in a little bit. But right now it's highlighted blue for the deals funnel view, which is where we're at right now. You can add a deal like we did before here. Filtering will give you several options that we'll cover in a bit. View by user is really, really helpful. If you're a sales manager, you can break down and see each of your sales reps' individual opportunities and Map My Customers to get an idea of where they're at. You can switch up the funnels. Say that you want to see the deals in 2019 instead of the current prospects. You can switch it up right here. And we'll see that we have nothing for 2019. I'll switch it back. And then you have select fields here. So in relation to select fields, as we scroll down, you can see we have a lot of information here. A lot, almost too much to where it can be a little bit overwhelming. That's okay. This is meant to be customizable and it's meant to give you a lot of insights. And you can see as we hover over things, we have the name of the company. If we hover over to the middle of it, you could expand the actual column itself. You have name, the score, the deal amount, the closing date, groups. You have the owner. Oh, I apologize. I just moved forward. Anyways, the idea being we have a lot of information here. How do we actually change all this? We're going to click on where it says select fields. And you'll see that by default, everything is selected. Do you actually need to see all of this? What if you just want to see some really basic information about each deal? Say I just want to know, like, tell me when the deal is going to close. Tell me how much it's going to close for. I just want the deal name. I don't need the company. I do want to know let's see. I do want to know the score and the stage of the sales cycle it's in. I just want to look at things real quickly at a glance. So now when I change this, this view becomes much more easy to digest. So now we have the name of the deal, the score. So like, this is a 40 score. The deal amount is 750,000. Wow. We expect to close it in the next 3 months. And the stage, oh, it's a marketing list. And quick note, you see that how the gray here ties to the gray here. That is really, really important from a visual standpoint. But as you can tell, this gives you a pretty nice overview of just all of the deals that you have, in this case, 18, and the basic information about each deal. So as a manager, you can come in here and see like, all right, first of all, this deal is a marketing list lead. It's in the very first stage. We're giving it a score of 40, and it's this big, and we expect to close it in the next 3 months. Something is a little off here. So maybe we will work with a rep and help understand, how did you actually get to this rating of 40? Do we need to take a step back? And is this even a real opportunity, etc. So you can customize all of this. And what you're looking at right now are all of the custom fields. Sorry, all the standard fields, not the custom fields. If you want to add in some more information to view, we just go back to select fields, and you might apply some more useful insights. So let's say that we want to remove score, but we want to add things like anticipated objections, competitors, and that is it. I just want to know these two, but on top of everything else. And now you can see here, okay, with this first deal, we are anticipating an objection around being too late. They're already working with somebody and not selling the right products. And they seem to be working or potentially trying to be sold by a nationwide competitor. So that's good to know. And again, from a sales management standpoint, being able to sit down with your sales rep and go through their sales funnel and understand at a glance, what can I do to help you out with these deals? And let me see what I can do to help you. Just from what I can tell real quickly at a glance right here, this can be a really, really helpful and powerful view to do so. So from looking at a deal by deal standpoint, this is really great. To look at things at a bit of a higher level, we'll now go to the top itself, where you can see the various stages of the sales cycle with some numbers at the top. So total amount. This total amount reflects what you have in the entire sales pipeline, but also includes close won and close lost. So that's actually really important to note that this aggregate includes everything from beginning to end in your sales pipeline. The adjusted amount is actually based on what you expect to win, slash lose, what you expect to move through each stage of the sales cycle. So the adjusted amount is calculated from, as we go into each stage, each block here represents a stage. Let's look at marketing list lead. The weight of this, the probability for this to move from marketing list to qualified lead is 10%. So we're taking the 750,000 opportunity times 10% and converting it to 75,000, which is the adjusted value of just the marketing list lead. Now this total adjusted amount is literally this adjusted value for each stage being added up. And that's how we get to here. So the good thing in here is that we're already excluding close lost because it's a lost opportunity. If you want to just see your active deal pipeline and remove both closed lost and closed won, what you can do is, I'm trying to think of this a way, because you could make a stage for that cancels it out. So I take that back. There is no easy way to do that. I was thinking of a couple of options, but I will definitely actually start looking into a few options to remove a closed won stage so that you can actually get an idea of what is in your active sales pipeline. One way you can do this is by going into the reports feature in Map My Customers and downloading a report that includes all of your data and then essentially removing anything closed won and closed lost. So that is an alternative workaround to that. All right. So as you can see, we're kind of broken down each stage, how much is in each stage, how to convert that to a probability of total adjusted amount. And then you can actually filter by stage by clicking on each stage. So right now I'm looking at all of the qualified leads. So again, as a sales manager, you could sit down with your sales rep and go through each stage of the cycle with them, with their deals. As a sales rep, this is a really great preparing and planning tool. This can help you get a full understanding of where each deal is at. If you don't know any anticipated objections here, then it might be worth having that conversation with brand new landmark deal. If we know this is a very competitive market and they're probably speaking to somebody, they're not telling us about it, we should have that transparent conversation. And you would see that by knowing that this field is blank. And you can go through each one to analyze each stage of the sales cycle. And as you can see, as I'm clicking through this, the total amount, adjusted amount, and number of deals here is changing. So that's a really helpful way to understand where each stage is at. And now we're going to go back to the all. All right. So third milestone complete. We fully understand all of our options available to us from the sales funnel itself. Now we're going to go into interacting with it a little bit more. So this is where it gets really, really fun and can really be a useful tool to steer the direction of your sales team, or as a sales rep, steer the direction of the energy and the work you're putting in out in the field. We're going to go into the filter option on the top right. And now we're going to have two sections that you can filter by. You have the ability to filter by your fields, by some of the standard fields. So this is the very middle section right here, as well as the ability to filter by your groups. Again, grouping can be anything that you want it to be. How do you make groups? You go to where it says plan, groups, and then company groups. I'm going to pull that up real quickly. I apologize, not company groups, groups, deal groups. And now here you see the groups that we've made. If I want to make a new group, add group, let's call it product C. Product D, because we already have C. We'll save this. And here it is, product D. So that's how you make a new group. So say that I want to filter by something, right? Like let's look at a common scenario. I want to know what we can close in the next 30 days. I want to see just that in my funnel. And what is today? Today is March 19th. Let's try to figure out what we can close by April 20th. So we're going to go through this option to filter by closing date. Closing date is before, let's say, April 20th, like we were mentioning before. April 20th, April 21st, actually, because we want to include April 20th. April at 9 a.m., at 8 a.m., yeah. I'm going to add the filter here, and we're going to click apply. So as you can see, we've gone from 18 deals to 7 here. And as we scroll down, we can actually see which 7 these are. So the deals that we expect to close within the next 30 days have been filtered in. Oh, but one thing to note here, all right, well, we can see that this includes deals that were already closed before. June 2017, June 27th, June 25th, July 12th, etc. It's including the closed deals. So what can you do in this situation? Well, let's actually go ahead and click into it. Let's actually just look at the ones that have been filtered in. So you can click into it that way. And then let's apply the filter again. I believe just removed it. Great. So you can see this list here. You can run these same filters on the reporting side to filter things out, which can be pretty helpful. And then you can see as well here, March 27th, April 17th, April 3rd, 2020, and all the information that's relevant about it. And so one thing to note, this filter only applies to this list view. It does not actually apply to this funnel view. To the sizes of the stages or anything like that, they're not changing. What will change is what you can see here on the list view. So we can do things such as that. We'll say we want to reset the filters. You can filter things based on who the owner is, what's the deal score, to see deals of a certain quality. Or let's just say that I want to see all the all of the deals that are interested in buying product A. I will just click in it right here with pins and any and apply the filter. And here again, we actually have 7 people that are interested in product A. So let's click in this one called Derm Deal just to verify this. And we can see in the group section, yes, Derm Deal actually wants to buy product A and product C. So grouping is a really great way to understand which products your prospects are looking to buy or which products your customers are buying. So we clearly have 7 deals for A. Let's say that I want to now see, how many people are interested in B. Okay, now there's 6 for B. What about C? How many people are interested in C? So, what is the most popular product people are interested in buying? Okay, so it's pretty close, but product A and product C are the most common products that people are interested in buying. And we figure that out by filtering the groups. So I will now reset these filters. And you can clearly see here how grouping ends up being such a powerful functionality within the Map My Customers world, and how helpful it can be when it comes to nailing things down and filtering based on specific criteria that you as a user get to set within Map My Customers. So we just learned about filtering and really narrowing things down within your sales funnel. So now where it gets to be even more exciting is we're going to look at the actual map view, which we're a mapping company, so of course we have to have a map view of our deals. Great, so now that we've clicked on here where it says map view from the funnel view, you can also just click on map and go to the deals map right here. You can actually see a map of the entire United States, but as you zoom into the area that has your deals, you can see a bunch of beautifully color-coded pins on the map, ranging from Tennessee, or is that West Virginia? Yeah, a little bit Tennessee, West Virginia border, all the way through to the DC and North Carolina areas. So this is just a great visual to understand quite literally geographically where are the deals that I'm working with, so that I can kind of plan as a sales rep, like, hey, I clearly have a lot of deals happening in this area, so maybe I should spend most of my time there. I do happen to have a handful of deals in this North Carolina region, though, so I don't know, maybe it's worth exploring and understanding what are the size of these deals so that I should know if I should spend my time there or not. I kind of need to know that question, the answer to that question. So what you'll do, rather than looking at the pin map, what you're going to do is turn on this option called the circle map. Now this is what we call the circle sales map. It shows you, based on the size of the deal amount, where your biggest opportunities are. So the bigger the circle, the bigger the size of the deal. So when we scroll down, there's actually a legend. This legend is dynamic in that it's directly based on the deals you submitted in there, right? So if you have a deal that's, let's say, worth $2 million, the max here would be 2 million. But if so that's really how it works. It'll continue to shift based on the data that you're submitting into Map My Customers. And you can see that the colors represent the specific stages. And this type of view is also available on the mobile app. So now we can see, like, oh wow, not only do we have a lot of opportunities in this DC, Virginia area, we actually have a couple of really, really big ones, some that might outsize the ones in North Carolina. So now that we know that, okay, like there's a lot going on in this DC metro area, I still haven't fully answered my question. We know there are some big ones based on the size here, but we still want to know, like, where should I actually be spending my time based on sales dollars? When we turn on the heat map, you'll actually see, like, all right, this heat map is based on the sales amount. This is a no-brainer. There are there are more, on average, there are bigger deals in this Virginia and DC area than there are in the North Carolina to Tennessee area. So I should definitely focus, I would say, at least 60% of my time in this DC and Virginia area to both try to close these deals down, but also try to see what else I can uncover in those areas, because I'm already there. Like, this is what it comes down to: territory management and opportunity visualization and just overall efficiency. how do I maximize my time in these populated areas when I have so many deals? Let's find some more deals in those areas so I can actually visit more people and have more relevant meetings. That being said, we do have a territory that has some deals. Let's assume this territory over here is brand new, so we're growing it. We've built out a couple of key opportunities, so maybe we try to fill in the gaps in between this triangle between North Carolina and Tennessee. Now, say that I want to know, like, how big are those actual opportunities in the North Carolina area, in this Greensboro area? We can click into it, and you'll see the name of the company, the stage that it's in, and the deal amount. So this one was already closed one, good to know. And we have one that's worth around 350 grand in the negotiating stage. Okay, so this might be worth going to. Let's check out the other ones. We have Universal Development, which is worth 130 grand. And then the brand new Landmark deal, it's worth 200 grand. So, what you might do if you're flying into Greensboro to visit your key prospect there, you might have to decide, do I visit the Chapel Hill area or this Tennessee area? I'll probably stick to the Chapel Hill area because it's both bigger and closer to my current location, to the location of where I'm going to be based on the fact that I'm going to be visiting this one bigger deal over here. But of course, this is where we're going to make our money for the most part. Again, turning on the circle map or even looking at the heat map, you'll see where your biggest deals and your hottest areas are that you should be focusing your time on. And if you want to see where are the deals that I'm currently in negotiation with, you can see, okay, this kind of shifts the picture a little bit. Based on the negotiation stage, we have a couple in negotiation here in Richmond, in the Virginia area, but they're not as big as the one in Greensboro, clearly. So what might you do? You might actually prioritize trying to close the business in Greensboro down as soon as possible because of the size and spending more time there. So that, again, depending on your priorities as a sales rep and as a sales team, using the deals map as a way to steer the direction, steer your strategy around your sales efforts can be a really, really, really powerful method. All right, so this actually does conclude the in-depth breakdown of the Map My Customers deals map, how it can be useful, as well as the deals funnel and how to set it all up. I will open it up now for questions for anybody that wants to shoot over them to me. So we had one question come in just now. The question, and it's a really great question, is say that you have multiple sales funnels, right? And you have them because you have 5 teams, you have 5 regional teams, they all follow the same sales stages, sales process, sales practice, etc. But you need to see a high level company view. Can you filter and see the entire company rather than the individual teams? The short answer to that in the actual deals map is no. You can actually only see one team's funnel at a time in the deals map. What you can do in the actual reports is generate a list report of all of your deals. And then this information gives you data across all of your sales funnels. So if at any point you need something that's high level company wide, like, hey, as an entire company across all of my 5 teams, I need to know how much we have in deals, you can download the actual deals report that includes all of this information. So that is a really good tip for anybody that has multiple teams and that is monitoring multiple deals. If you have that set up and you need to see a high level company wide report, generating it from the report section is going to include all of the sales funnels. All right, any more questions here? Okay, so this is one common question. Can I route to my deals? So unfortunately, when it comes to deals, it's meant to be more so of a planning and a strategic solution. So on the mobile app, you can't actually route to the deals. What you can do is you can pull up the company and then route directly to the company, but right into the deals. It's not something we offer right now, but I'll definitely pass it along to my product development team. So somebody mentioned that they had set up their deals, but it's not letting them actually assign their deals funnel to their team. So that does go back to one of the points we talked about earlier, that it's really important. We have to be cautious about this too. I know it can be a bit confusing. When you set up your sales funnel for the first time, your deals funnel, you need to try to avoid adding any deals until you assign it to a team. So the step-by-step process is you set up your sales funnel with 0 deals. When you set it up, you go in and assign it to a team before you add any deals to it, and only then do you add deals. And one thing I do want to point out to you all, we do have a brand new support portal that I want to show you all that includes a section about deals. So let's say that I want to look into deals. You can see many things here with deals. Add deals, map your deals, manage your deals, update, group, and import deals. So there are probably some questions around importing deals. Please check out our support article that goes in depth about how to import deals, as well as the required fields that you need to have in there. And one more thing I do want to point out, whenever you want to mark deals as close won or close lost, there are some steps to do that. So let's pull up this marking list deal. Let's say that I want to go ahead and actually mark this as lost. This wasn't a realistic opportunity. I'm going to click lost, and it's going to ask me to fill out some information. It's going to ask for a lost reason and a lost comment. Lost reason, by default, it's not going to have anything available for you. So as an administrator, and this is one part I do apologize for not bringing up earlier, it's going to be really important to make sure that you add in some options as to why deals may be lost. Because by default, if one of your sales reps try to mark a deal as lost, they're not going to be able to because they'll have no reasons. And only the admin can do this. So let's call this one webinar loss and click done. This was lost on the webinar. And now you can see that webinar loss is available here. Let's click on it. And just like that, we mark this deal as lost. So now this is closed lost. How do you mark things as closed won? Let's go pull up this specific deal. In the same section where you mark it as lost, you mark it as won. And just like that, your deal is won. All right, so it seems that the questions have stopped. Those were some really good questions, so I appreciate everybody bringing those up. This, like I mentioned before, this recording will be provided for you all today, so you can rewatch it. Please feel free to share it to your colleagues, to your reps. It'll also be put up on our YouTube page, where you can see the other webinars from our webinar series, introducing all the new and great updates we're making for you all. So that is it for today. Thank you all for your time, and have a great day.